I just love it when a video starts with the ocean. You know it's gonna be good. Welcome back to another Jeff Reviews for you. And as you saw, we are looking at the Sun Ninja beach canopy. Not that long ago, I actually reviewed another beach canopy called the Shaboomi, and I really liked it, except when there's no wind, there's nothing there. So this one is supposed to work even when there's no wind. You know what, enough talk, let's get right into this review. We're gonna be setting up the Sun Ninja. This is the 7 by 7.5 feet version. I will say this is their large one. It retails for about $130. There is a larger one that's about $160, and that's 10 feet. Let's take this out of the bag to see what we get. It's a little windy today, so I hope you can hear me. Of course, you see we have our canopy. We have some extra tie cords, 2 bags of poles, or 2 sets of poles in each bag. They even included a shovel, but check this out. You also have stakes if you want to put this on grass and not the sand, and of course here is our bag. So we've laid out our Sun Ninja, ready to set it up. I did have to weigh it down just because it is really windy. So our goal now is to fill up the corner tabs or the corner areas with sand. Get as much sand as possible as you can in each of the corners. Let's do that now. All right, so we filled up this first pouch with sand, and actually the hole that I made scooping in the sand, I put this bag into it. If I ever needed to put sand on top for extra support, I can, but I can also add more sand later. Now I'm gonna do the other 3 corners. All right, all 4 corners are now full, and this thing is held down tight. It's time to put together our poles and officially set this up. You see inside of our pole bag, we had 2 poles. They all have a black top to them, and around it is the elastic that we use to secure the pole to our tent. So we're gonna take that elastic off. This one, they actually have plastic on here too. You can take that off as well. Here are the poles put together. They're just over 5 feet long. I will say the first few times I used this, it was really difficult to get the poles to go together, but now after I've used it for a little while, the poles are sliding together a lot easier. If you have trouble, a little WD-40 on the connections will go a long way. All right, I'm trying my best to get this on camera. You just take a pole, stand it up. Now that the pole is in, you can stick your elastic right around it. Tighten it down. Now the canopy is secured to the pole. Here we are with 2 poles. Now this unit can either be done just with the 2 poles like you see here, or you can include the other 2 poles in the back. We will do that in a second. And what Sun Ninja says, if you have more people, you might want to stick the back poles up, but if you just have a couple people, well, the front 2 will suffice. All right, here it is with all 4 poles. You can see we have a pretty significant wind out today, and it's holding up pretty strong. How cool is that? You can still see the sun through your Sun Ninja, but you are sitting here protected from the UV and still enjoying your day at the beach. Something I found helpful is to make sure that your side straps here that hold the sand are on an angle from the pole. Therefore, even in a wind like we have today, you're gonna have no issues. I've seen other ones maybe were off-centered or not on an angle, and they end up tipping over. To take it down, we're just gonna reverse the process. So I'm gonna take out the straps, pull out the poles, let it drop, and we'll dump the sand out. After emptying out the sand, I find it helpful to just turn it inside out, get the rest of that sand, and you're ready to go. Inside the bag, there are actually 2 different compartments. The compartment on the right is where I'm gonna put my poles, and the compartment on the left is where I'm gonna put the tent top. Just makes it easier for storage. Just like that, we're all bagged up, stored away, and ready for the next time we go to the beach. So, tell me, what are your thoughts of the Sun Ninja? Something you'd use? Not so much? Do you have something else you'd recommend? Let me know down in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. You know what? Now that we've tried it on the sand, let's try it somewhere else. I can't end this video and not try it on the grass, right? They gave us stakes for that. So let's lay out our Sun Ninja right here on the lawn. We are laid out in a good spot. Let's go down to the corners and start staking in our sides. What you're looking for is this little loop on the bag where you put your sand, you put your stake through, and just push it right into the ground. Better angle, put your stake through, and push it into the ground. If you need to, you can take a hammer, tack it down the rest of the way. Now let's do the other 3 sides. We're staked in. Now let's get our poles and put this thing up. Just like it was when it was on the sand, we take our pole, we stick it underneath the canopy, we stand the pole up. Just as simple as it was on the beach, we just tighten down our elastic strap around the pole top and the tent canopy is held secure. I love how easy it is to put up. I wanted to show what it looked like with just the front two legs in. I'm gonna put the back two in, but it is a pretty quick and easy sun cover. There we are, all set up. The sides are tight, it looks straight, and we're ready for a nice day in the sun, well, at least in the shade in the sun. I like to make sure the stakes are hammered in all the way into the ground, therefore no one's gonna trip on them or hurt themselves. I'm gonna leave this up all day just to see how it does. We're supposed to have some wind come through later. Right now, there's not a whole lot, but we'll see how it survives the day. I did want to point out that although this is a relatively small canopy, from one side over here on the left all the way over to the right, that's actually almost 13 feet. So you do need a lot more area that you're going to be taking up than what the tent actually covers. It was a pretty uneventful day, a little bit of wind, but this thing held strong and those stakes stayed right in the ground. To take it down, we're just going to remove the 4 poles, wrap those up, drop the canopy, pull the stakes, and put it in the bag. I'm gonna make sure I actually pull these stakes up by the stake and not the tent material itself because I don't want to rip it. In this video, we were looking at the Sun Ninja. So what did I think of it? First things first, let's talk about that price point. I actually bought the large, which is weird because I think it was one of the smaller ones, and it retailed for right around $130. In my opinion, it seemed a little expensive, especially since there are other products out there that look very, very similar for like $50 or $60. I really do appreciate how it's easy to set up, and you know what? It's almost foolproof as long as you put enough sand in the pouches when you're using it at the beach, because it just stands up even with some pretty high winds. I really like how it was versatile. You could use it on the sand or on the grass, which means it was really convenient going to the park, sports games, or whatever, just outside. You could use it almost anywhere. I am a little worried about the material actually stretching out. I noticed that this thing was under a lot of pressure, especially in the wind or just whenever, but I'm worried about that. I did see they have a 1-year warranty on the canopy, and that to me is like, whoa, that doesn't seem like a whole lot, because really 1 year is really just one season. So for me, I am a little nervous about this thing stretching out too far and maybe not working as well. You saw how I modeled some of my installs. They recommend putting the little ball about 1 foot from the corner to get the maximum area that you can get for your Sun Ninja. I have washed it a few times, and I'll caution you a little bit if you're gonna wash it. I ended up just washing it regular by itself the first time when I took it out. The whole thing was just tied in knots, all the different arms. It was just a mess. So the second and third time I washed it, I actually used one of those laundry bags that you just throw in the washer and the dryer, and it cleaned up really, really well, and it didn't cause a mess for me to untie. Anyway, that was my full review of the Sun Ninja. It's a pretty sweet beach tent or just a regular outdoor tent on grass. If this is something that interests you, I will leave a link down in the description. This is Jeff with Jeff Reviews for You. As always, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a great day. Now that all the stakes, or pegs as they call them, are picked up, let's put them in the bag. The peg bag gets stored right in the front of the Sun Ninja. There's a special little pouch. We already put our poles in. Now let's put in the tent top. I prefer the stuff method, where you would just take 2 of the corners and just start stuffing it in. Right there to the end, and we're all done. Even though we didn't end up using it this time, don't forget to put your shovel back. I really do appreciate that you stayed around for my entire review of the Sun Ninja. You know what? In this video, I referenced my review of the Shabumi, another beach canopy tent. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna link that review right up here, and I would love it if you would click on this link. And when you do, by the magic of the internet, I'm gonna join you right here. So go ahead, click it. It's safe, I promise.